Hi everyone. Today's another mental health awareness video, and it's how to survive your first 24 hours on a mental health unit. Um, I've kind of taken this as being a section patient, but it is also just a generalised admission, whether you're sectioned or not. I'll be going through pretty much the same stuff. Um, I hope it's helpful. I hope it gives some of you maybe some comfort or some information about what to expect if you're going, what to be aware of, things like that. So we'll crack into it. So the first thing is, depending on where you've been assessed, you'll be taken to the ward, usually in an ambulance, but if they believe that you're violent, they might take you with a police escort too. Um, they usually will do one or the other. You won't usually have a policeman in an ambulance with you. So if the police are taking you, they're taking you in the back of a van, which isn't nice. And if you are sectioned by the police, that's a section 136, and it's very degrading in some ways. You are treated almost like a criminal because you're being dealt with by police, but you're not a criminal, you're unwell. And I think they sometimes don't always see that distinction. Because they're used to idiots being idiots, they think that when someone's unwell, they're being an idiot on purpose. They don't see that there's kind of something causing that or something triggering that for that person. And mental health can affect you a lot in how you interact with people, how you see the world, how you perceive the world, how you see everything. And if your perception is slightly distorted, then eventually everything's going to become distorted, I guess. I don't know. I should take my own advice with that one, shouldn't I, really? Anyway, so yes, number one, you'll be taken to the ward. You will usually be kind of led to a room with a couple of sofas, maybe some pictures on the wall. It's sometimes a telephone. It's basically like what they call a quiet room. Um, it'll have, yeah, it's just like a basic room where people can go if they want to read, or no one ever really uses them unless it's the only place that they can find that is quiet, and like I guess it's been on some ward to me. But it's not a room that's used a lot, so you'll be put in there, and you'll usually be alone unless they think you're a massively high risk, and you'll have a staff member from the ward stay in with you. That varies depending on person to person, ward to ward, staff member to staff member. So, one situation where you might have to be on constant ops for a while is very different to another in a different hospital. You can't say because of one thing might be treated that way. Sadly, there's not a lot of norms in mental health other than bad treatment. Sadly, um, I think mental health services are known for not being that good at the moment, being understaffed, being underfunded, but a lot of that isn't the workers' fault. Um, and yeah, I've met workers that should not be workers. But you get that in any line of work. You get that with nurses. You get that with teachers. You can't just blame all nurses. You can't blame the whole NHS. The NHS in a whole, the people that work for it are amazing. They do such a great job. They're so underappreciated and overworked and underpaid, and yet the people that really truly do it for the job make a massive difference. All the workers I've known haven't been people that took that job for the money or the power. They've done it because they wanted to make a difference. And they're the people that will make a difference. The people that go in there thinking, oh, this is an easy job, I can sit in an office for 12 hours, I'll just drink some coffee, have some biscuits, and leave everything to the others. Those kind of staff members, they don't make a difference in a good way. They're the ones that cause people to hate going to certain wards. The cliques I've known in staff on wards have bullied the good staff out because they didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't want people that cared on that ward because that would have made their life difficult because they were being picked up on things by the other staff. They don't want that. They want an easy life. They want a quiet ward. And to some of them, that equates to just hiding in the office and doing fuck all. Sorry, I shouldn't swear. Anyway, so number two, yep, you'll be kind of put in a quiet room. Will probably have your bags taken off you if you have any bags, any kind of material possessions. They may ask you to empty your pockets at that stage. They may get you to do that later. Just be aware that that could happen. They will take your bags to the office. They will be searched in front of you, though, in most places anyway. All the places I've been, you've had your bags searched in front of you. They will then write a list of all the things that you've brought in with you. You sign it to say that's what you brought in. It's basically like insurance coverage for them. But you just have to sign something to say you're aware that if anything goes missing, that's your problem, not the ward's, basically. Let's see. So after you've gone to the quiet room, you'll usually be either taken to where your bedroom is, Depending on what time of day it is. If it's night time, you'll be shown to your room. They'll show you where your bed is. They'll, get you bedded in. If it's through the daytime, you'll probably maybe be taken to the lounge, or either way, they'll show you your bedroom. They'll get your bags in there first. You'll then go through them, and as I say, they'll write the list of what you've got in with you. They don't keep like an exact list of like 17 socks, 3 pairs of underwear. It's not quite like that, but it's just in case you say, well, I brought £50 in with me and it's gone missing, you must pay me to the wards. How, the people will abuse that if there's a system like that, so they have to make sure that everyone says they're accountable for their own items, their own belongings, and the ward has no responsibility over that. They do say that you can leave things in safekeeping with them, so you can put things sometimes in the office. You might have a safe in your room that will have an instruction book with it. If not, you can ask a staff member to find you the instructions. They'll have a copy of it for all the rooms. So they're normally pretty simple. They're normally reset every time someone comes out of a room. So you just put in the number you want, you press like a certain button, set your code up, and then you're good. The safe for me was amazing because I don't like leaving valuables lying around because I have had a lot go missing on wards. I've known a lot of thieves on wards. And so now, although it's not like I'm tarring everyone with the same brush, I'm just cautious now. I don't want to risk it. Especially things like cigarettes, mobile phones, money, anything like that is liable to go missing. So just make sure that you kind of, again, like I said in my earlier video about what not to do in hospital, just don't brag if you've got a lot of stuff. Don't brag if you came in with 200 quid in your back pocket. Like, keep it quiet or you're going to get robbed. Not many people would take you on head to head for it, but they just steal it. So be careful, definitely. After that, you will be assessed. Now, if it's nighttime you came in, they may let you get some kip and wake you up in the morning with the doctor. They normally like to have the assessment done that night though, or that day if you're coming in the daytime, so that'll happen pretty quickly usually. It is the duty psychiatrist that'll do it normally, so you may have to wait because they could be an AME, they could be with the crisis team sometimes. So you have to be patient, and I know it's really stressful waiting for them. Especially when I've gone in all night time, I've just been desperate to go to sleep, get my head down and just forget everything for a while. But yeah, that's the negative of going in all night. Some wards will make sure that you stay up just so that you can have this assessment. After that, during that, you will have a physical health assessment. They may take your blood pressure, your pulse, your temperature. They may want to do a check of your breathing. The doctor may want to check your lungs and things like that. They usually can do it over your top if you say no, I'm not lifting my top up, whatever. If you're uncomfortable, they can do it over your clothes. They might say they can't, but they can, so don't let them crap you on that one. Yeah. You might have an ECG done, or you may be referred for one to have done on the ward by someone coming in externally to do it from the hospital. So they will do a big kind of health check to make sure there's no obvious physical things causing whatever's led you into being admitted, basically. You may also have to do a urine test. They will be testing for drugs, no matter what they say. They always say, it's not just for drugs, or it's not for drugs, but that's partially what they're doing. Just be aware of that, and don't try and blag them. You're like, oh no, I haven't had anything, and you come up positive for 5 different drugs. Don't blag it, they're not going to trust you then. You rest off going in and be like, yep, had this yesterday, had this a week ago. They'll respect you a lot more for being honest, even if they don't like your honesty. And it'll make their jobs easier because they can see what might be having an interaction in your brain, what might be interacting in your mind, like your body, your chemistry, things like that as well. So that is important. At this point, I would suggest maybe going to your room, sitting down on the bed, unpacking all your stuff if you haven't done that yet, getting kind of bedded in a bit more, have a look around, find a seat in the place that you like in your room, so whether that's on the bed or one of the chairs, you can move a chair around the room, sit so you can look out the window if there is one. There will be a window in your room somewhere, usually. Just try and find somewhere that you can have a little bit of comfort, something that you can, it's not relaxing, it's not safe maybe, but it's something where you can just take a deep breath for a minute and think, okay, I just need to pause for a sec. And you've got somewhere that you can just kind of retreat to. And if you don't feel you can do that in your bedroom, I suggest having a look around the ward, maybe checking out the gardens or the courtyards, if there's any that you have access to that you're allowed in. Find somewhere that you can sit down, that you feel that you can just have like a breather there if you need to. That really helped me, having somewhere that I could be like, right, I'm done with this, I'm off. I'm off to go bury my head in the sand for a bit. yeah, it just helps. It helps to have your own little place that you can find on the ward. It's the little things you miss about being at home as well. So kind of like kettles, toasters, making your own toast in the morning, making your own cuppers. Excuse me. There's a lot of things that I think people don't realise about hospital, and it's hard for me to actually remember things like that now. But I know there's been a lot of times over my time in hospital I thought, wow, it really is like the small things that you just don't think about. Like having your own bath. Usually on wards you'll have a shower if you've got an ensuite. They'll have like a public bath where they'll give you a key, you can go use it, and then you give the key back. And so you can have a bath, but I know personally, I never liked having a bath on the ward. It felt dirty. It felt like I was washing with other people. Like, no matter how hard I cleaned it before I got on it and after it, like, it just never felt comforting. It never felt comfy and warm like a bath should. So, yeah, little things. Quiet at night, or sleeping with your dog at night, or hearing your kid breathing in the next room, or your partner snoring next to you. Not having those little regular things that you didn't even notice that you needed until you haven't got them and you need them again. It's really strange. The things that you think you hate at home as well sometimes can be the things that you miss the most in a weird way, like people, responsibilities, work, whatever. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Sorry. So, after you've had your assessment, after you've had your physical health check, you will probably be shown around the ward. The staff will come up and introduce themselves. They might say, hi, my name is Brenda. Hi, my name is Susan. Nice to meet you. They might ask if you have a preferred name. So for me, I'm Rebecca, but I like to be called Becky. So obviously on my files, I'm Rebecca. So if they ever say, oh, hi, Rebecca, my name's so-and-so, that is a good point to be like, oh, hi, I prefer Becky. Nice to meet you. You can introduce yourself. You can get... Because being called Rebecca for me makes me feel like I'm away from home. It makes me feel like I'm in an institution. If someone calls me Becky, it just makes my life a bit better because I'm not quite so jarringly aware of where I am. So it's, again, little things, just being called a name that you like instead of your formal name, your Sunday name. It's stuff like that. Don't worry if you can't remember everyone's names. They're not going to expect you to. The key thing is try and remember the patients' names because they're a little less understanding than the staff sometimes. Obviously, we all want to feel special. We all want to feel remembered. If you've just met someone and 2 minutes later you've forgotten them and you go up to them again, they are going to be a bit peeved. And the summer dissociation who's done this quite a lot, they're not happy. I go up to people at church all the time and go like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? And they're like, yeah, Becky, we've known each other a year. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, I don't know. I feel terrible. People think I don't care about them, and it's not that. It's, especially with dissociation, it's not a willful forgetting. You're not forgetting something because it's not important. Usually you're forgetting something because it is important. Yeah. Never mind. Anyway, sorry, carry on. You get shown around. You'll usually have a meal time at some point. It's usually like 8 in the morning for breakfast, 12 for lunch, 5 for tea. That's usually how it goes. I can't guarantee about the food. In Harrogate, we would get catered food, so it was all cooked in the premises by chefs, and then it was brought onto the ward by domestics. In all the other northern hospitals I've been in, pretty much, it's all like pre-freezed, pre-cooked rubbish that they just heat up for you. It's not very nice. It's all a bit bland. You know, there's so many additives in it just to make it last there. It doesn't really taste very good. But if you're hungry, aren't you? You know, so... yeah, I don't know. The food has never been really that great anywhere but Harrogate. I'll give it that one credit. It's got good food. If that's it. But again, it's little things in life. If you're not enjoying any food that you eat all day, every day for however long you're on the ward, it makes you miserable. People like good food. Like, I don't even really eat that much. I know, unbelievable, right? But like, I just don't. Even in there, like my one meal a day that I would usually have, if that, I want to enjoy it. I'm in hospital. I don't want to be eating crap and feeling crap. And to be fair, it's usually quite healthy stuff besides all the preservatives. But they can't be giving you rubbish stuff. They're not going to be feeding you, I don't know, Krispy Kremes and waffles and donuts, as nice as that'd be. Have some breakfast, have some waffles. Shout out to Sammy. She's the waffle queen. I love you, Sammy. Oh, she's my Gabrielle to my Xena. I love you. Um, so, carrying on. Sorry, I got distracted. This is going to be a long video. I'm sorry, guys. I've written a little plan here, so let me just get me act together again. Okay, charge your phone. There we go. That should be the next thing you do. Once you've got bedded in, charge your phone. They will usually keep your chargers and your cables either in the office or in the locked room where you can charge a phone with other people charging theirs, and you just they lock the door, and you go get it when you want it later. After you've given it time to charge. So I don't really like doing that, so I try to take short USB cables, that way, that are maybe like that long, or like a metre long, half a metre long, because then too short to be used as a ligature, and you can argue that point. I can't use this dirt myself, so can I please keep it? They might say they have to test the plug, but they may also have a plug that's been tested that you could borrow. They're pretty relaxed about that sometimes on some wards. I think if you just open about it and say, look, I need to ring some, my dad, my wife, my kids, my mum, whatever, whoever, they're pretty good about trying to get you a charger and getting things sorted, whether you've got one on you or not. They'll try and find you something that'll work. And if not, they can lend you the phone, the office phone sometimes, if you need to make an urgent call that you just can't use on your phone for whatever reason. And this is a key time here, once you've just got settled in, to call your loved ones, especially maybe after you've had a meal and you've settled a bit more in. Call your loved ones. If you want to challenge your section, if your sections, you can ask the staff about that, and they can try and get you an advocate and a lawyer. You don't have to pay. You will be given legal aid because you are a section patient. An advocate is always good if you feel like you're on a ward that isn't going to treat you well. But you have got to be careful that, you can't just abuse it. You can't be, well, that lady looked at me funny. You've got to have a genuine reason for having an advocate. And I've seen sometimes they just get used because people want to slag off the ward and don't realise that it's not really important stuff they're slagging off. Again, it could be something daft like the food, or I can't go for cigarettes every hour like I want to go. And it's important stuff to people. I get that, and I've been there. I just think on awards there's much more serious things going on than being allowed a cigarette every hour. People are trying to kill themselves, people are feeling like killing themselves or hurting someone else. People are in misery on these wards, and you might have some people that are manic. They could be high as a kite and you're feeling depressed as anything, and that's kind of hard to watch. Yeah, although I've got to say I love my bipolar friends because they just bring you up. They've got such a good energy. And there's usually such very lovely people and very creative. I've found with people with bipolar are very creative. They just seem to have that side in their brain, or artistic, music, whatever. Acting, dancing, singing, it just seems to be something. So I don't know, it's cool, isn't it? I don't know why, but we'll go there. Okay, so after you've eaten, you've called your loved ones, you've got your things unpacked, what else do you need to do? Okay, now, introduce yourself to the patients. Key thing, if you are meeting these patients, other than just nodding at them as you walk past or even not noticing them at all, if you go into a mealtime, find a table with at least 2 seats, not 1, 2 seats free. If you take 1, you might get someone angry coming up and be like, hey, that's my seat. You go to where there's 2, you're fine usually. And what I would do is I would have a look at the people on the tables and that you feel are maybe talking, they might be having a smile and a joke with each other. And there's another table where they're all sat in stony silence. So you want to have a look and kind of scan the room while you're waiting to get your meal. Have a look at who seems angry, who seems relaxed, who seems having a bit of a laugh for people. And obviously go to the table where you feel you're going to fit most in that respect. Sorry, I've gone blank. Okay, so yeah, when you found a table that you feel more comfortable, you can sit at, I would go up to the people there. I'd smile at the person who you feel looks most friendly or who's smiling the most around the table. You smile at them, look them in the eye, and go, oh, hi, I'm Becky, nice to meet you, or whatever. Am I right to sit down here, please? Most people aren't going to have an issue. They're going to be happy that you asked. They'll think that's really nice and polite. They'll be friendly with you. If you go and just plunk yourself down, like, huh, and just, like, ugh, they're not going to want to chat to you. They're not going to want to help you if you need a hand. They're not going to want to, kind of give you a chance. And I think on the wards, I've been helped the most by the patients usually, not the staff. It's been the patients. We help each other, we support each other. We know if one patient's going to try and kill himself, and we try and stop him. We might not go tell the staff straight away. I mean, I always try to now. I must say I'm a grass in that respect. I'm sorry. If I'm going to try and kill yourself, I'm going to try and tell someone, because I couldn't allow that to happen. Even though I've been in situations where people have done that to me and I've been peeved. Like, I get it though. I get it. I couldn't. If someone told me they were going to kill themselves and I did nothing, like, I couldn't live with that. I can barely live with myself as it is. I couldn't do that. And I've heard some mad stories about people helping each other try and kill themselves on wards, or one patient distracting another so that another patient can then try a ligature. Like, that is bad. Like, why do you want to help your friends get killed, mate? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. But basically just introduce yourself to people with a smile, look them in the eye, but don't stare. Look them in the eye, look away, maybe give a hand out. Don't always go straight for a hug. Some people on wards don't like touching, they don't want to feel threatened. They might take that in a negative way. Or they might take it, maybe not as aggression, but like you being trying to be dominant. So the best thing to do is, I would say, like, either shake your hand or just go, "Oh, nice to meet you, how you doing?" And just try and have a chat with them, try and be normal to them, see what they're like, ask them their name, ask them where they're from. If they've got an accent, so, "Oh, lovely accent," or like, "Where'd you get that? Where you from?" People are always happy to talk about their own lives. And if you can make someone feel like you're interested in them, I'm going to be very happy with that. And that, I think, obviously you have got to genuinely care. People can tell if you're just bullshitting them like that. "Oh, yeah, that's nice, yeah, carry on, blah, 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 blah." You can see them thinking that. But the people who genuinely care, if you genuinely care and people see that, they're going to be a lot nicer to you. They're going to be a lot more likely, again, to, like I said, to want to help you out if you need anything. Say you need to borrow £1 for a drink of Coke in the vendor, or you need a bit of credit to phone your boyfriend, whatever it is. Or a cigarette, a lighter, a Rizzler. If people feel like you're a friendly person, that you'll appreciate it, that you will help them back maybe, then you've got a good chance of kind of getting a good relationship with people. But to say this as well, there is also people that you should avoid. And I'm not going to say this person, that person, because we're all different. I can't say a person with this tattoo, or a person with this hair colour, or a person with this skin colour, because that's bull. No one of any one type is all the same as each other. It's just not possible. It doesn't happen. Perfection isn't in this world. And if we're all clones of each other, that would kind of be a form of perfection. So we're all different. I think you just be respectful to people. If they look like they're getting upset, are you looking at them? Don't look at them. Don't eye up like scars. Don't eye up wounds or anything like that. If you're interested, ask them. I'm sure they wouldn't mind, as long as you don't approach it with a cocky, rude, like kind of arrogance about you. If you go in openly and humbly asking them, they're going to probably be quite respectful to you, because they'll respect you being open enough to ask them. They might, because I've had people stare at my arms, and the people that have then come up to me and gone, "What happened there?" are like, "Did you do that?" Like, I respect them people. They've got the guts to come up to me and ask. They're not just staring at me and then like running off when I've seen them. They're willing to be honest to me in a way and be like, "Yeah, I see your arms. Like, what happened? I'm interested." So it's just the way you approach people. Definitely in your approach is like the key thing. If you, like I say, you go in cocky and arrogant, no one's going to like you, no one's going to want to talk to you, and you could get some issues with people. If you go in humble, you go in trying to be nice, help people to the best you can, but don't put yourself under. You're there for a reason yourself. You don't need to be the one saving everyone. The staff are there for that reason. But yeah, the patients can definitely be the greatest help to each other on the ward. So I definitely recommend finding some people that you click with, even if it's just one person. Find someone that you click with. It will make your life a lot easier on the ward, for sure. Another thing is, if you like to watch TV, or you like to read, or whatever it is that you do to distract yourself, find where you can do that on the ward. So it might be, usually most wards have at least one room with a TV, and usually two. They'll have maybe 2 or 3 lounges, possibly 4, depending on the size of the ward. So you can take your time, maybe spend an hour in each room and have a look at the people that come into each one, who frequents which room, what's on what telly. Just kind of see what people do, scout them out a bit, and see who you want to be with. You don't want to be sat in the room watching Birdwatch or Nature Watch while you want to be watching, I don't know, Let's Come Dancing or whatever shit. Like, Sorry. I know, I mainstream TV. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. Oh. Anyway, I mean, look at the t-shirt. I'm repping it, look. I'm repping it. Sorry. I'll shut up now. I amuse myself anyway. Hey, that's the good thing, right? At least I amuse myself. So, again, yes, so scout out the room, see who sits where, who you want to be with. And don't forget, you can go from room to room if things get a bit heated in one room or the atmosphere goes a bit down, like whatever. Try and find the place that you feel that you can relax a bit in. For me, it's always been my bedroom pretty much. Usually in a corner where I know they can't see me from the door because I'm an awkward cow. I like to feel like they can't see me. I don't want to feel like I'm being watched in my misery. I want to just hide and cry my eyes out on my own if I have to. And just kind of crawl on the floor and pick myself up and like, right, done. Let's crack on. So let's see. Basically, that's it. Night meds, well, at the night time, they usually do meds kind of between 9 to 10. You can ask for them a little earlier. There's usually a handover between kind of from 8 till 9 or 8 till half 8 at least. So you are usually waiting till 9 o'clock unless you can ask the doctor to write you up for it on the tea time meds. So basically you have breakfast meds, lunch meds, tea time meds, and then night meds. So there's 4 lots of meds through the day. Morning meds kind of between 8 to 10 depending on the ward and the day. Weekends you might get it 10 onwards. They might give you a bit of a lie-in, depending on the staff members. Some are lovely and some give you a lie-in and some don't. Let's see. So yeah, you've got your morning meds, obviously lunchtime meds about 12 o'clock. Usually 1 o'clock. They'll let people have lunch and then they'll start doing it 12:30 to 1. You've got your tea time meds, which is kind of like 6 to 7. And then you've got your nighttime meds, which will be, as I say, 9 to 10 kind of area. What I would suggest is asking for PRN on the night time, so asking for something to help you sleep. In your physical health exam, I should have said this then, I'm sorry I didn't. I might splice this in. Basically, something that I missed about the physical health check is that you should ask for some PRN, basically. So just make sure that you're written up for something that you can have if you get desperate. So for me, I ask, can I just get written up for some PRN? I normally have lorazepam, promethazine, Zopiclone. They might write me up for something like haloperidol extra, but that's not always. But they're kind of my regulars. That I'm on at home as well, but I take it more on a ward, obviously, I guess. Partly because it's harder to sleep on a ward, so I'm going to have a sleeping tablet like every night, just in case. I'm not sleeping, and then getting to like 12 and not being allowed to have a sleeping tablet when it's too late. So, yeah, basically you can ask for a sleeping tablet, again, from like nighttime meds onwards. But you have the issue of, if you leave it too late, after usually 12, they won't give you it. They say it's too late, you'll sleep in. It's actually bullshit. Zopiclone only lasts for 4 hours, or at least keeps you asleep for 4 hours. Others do longer and shorter and all kinds of stuff. Sleeping tablets are weird, but Zopiclone really only usually works for 4 hours. If you sleep any longer than that, it's because you've fallen asleep and your mind needed that rest, and you're sleeping longer, obviously. But if you're sleeping less, sometimes like mania, things like that, or hypermania, even just strong emotions, you can throw your sleep off. I'm sure a lot of you know. So yeah, getting a good night's sleep is essential. So earplugs is kind of handy, or some headphones, earphones. Earphones are probably better than headphones because obviously you can lie on them. Yeah, I think that's basically it. That is how to survive your first 24 hours as a patient on a mental health unit. Okay guys, sorry, I forgot one more thing, and that is smoking on the ward. A lot of people with mental health issues smoke. It's like 70% of all schizophrenics smoke or something like that. I get why. Basically on the ward, you aren't allowed to smoke. There's no smoking areas on any of the grounds anymore in UK hospitals. NHS at least, I'm not sure about private, I've never gone private, but NHS, it's completely no smoking all over the grounds. If you're seen, you'll get told to either put it out or it'll be taken off you if it's staff, depending on who it is. Some staff members, if they trust you, will allow you to go off the ward to somewhere where you may be able to smoke. There's usually somewhere on the wards, in the grounds somewhere, that staff will allow people to do it because they feel like, well, we're letting them do it, so they're staying calm and relaxed, but we can watch them, we can keep them safe. But we're also not going to get seen doing this. So the staff will allow you to do it, but never vocally allow you to do it. So just don't push your luck. Find a place where people smoke on the ward. Ask about if you see a smoker. Say, oh, where can I have this? They'll let you know. There's always somewhere. You may have to wait a couple of days to be allowed to go off the ward, and you may not even be allowed to go off without staff. So you are going to have issues around that. If you're sectioned, especially because you'll need Section 17 leave just to leave the ward, never mind go off the grounds. So yeah, just something to be aware of. Another thing to do is early on is find the smokers. If you are a smoker, check out who's got lighters, who's got Rizzlers, who's got Backy. You can all help each other within reason. Just don't take the mick or them to you. Just be aware of that. And that's it. Thanks guys. Bye. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry about the rambling. I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to leave this basically like this. So I'm sorry if it's rubbish. I hope some of you found this interesting at least, and maybe some will find it helpful. If you did, can you leave a comment and let me know and a like? That would be really nice. And the subscribe would be most appreciated. Cheers guys. Bye.